The X-Men franchise has often received mixed reviews throughout, but one thing that the world collectively agrees on is that Logan is a masterpiece. It opens in the year 2029 in another dystopian future where most of the X-Men are dead and mutants are slowly dying out as no members of the species have been born in over 25 years. So basically it's children of men but with mutants.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Meanwhile, Logan is now caring for a dementia-addled Xavier with the help of their mutant ally Caliban, played by Stephen Merchant? What's the connection? Coming up next, Batman, starring David Mitchell. Actually, he'd probably be a really good Alfred now that I think about it. Although, fair play, they do manage to give him a badass moment. Yeah, this movie managed to make Stephen Merchant a badass.
You don't want to do this.
However, Logan's mortality has finally caught up to him as the metal grafted to his skeleton has begun to poison his bloodstream and he's now slowly dying. Much like the franchise.
Just please stop.
A young girl called Laura, played by Daphne Keane, then suddenly shows up on his doorstep, and she just so happens to be one of the last remaining mutant children with powers not so different to our favourite Claude protagonist. It is then up to Logan to transport the wee lass all the way to a safe haven at the Canadian border, because evil can't enter Canada? Chris Benoit says hi.
You're not listening.
Thereby allowing the mutant species to survive, all while being pursued by yet another gang of superpowered dickheads led by Donald Pierce, played by Boyd Holbrook.
Don't be so sure.
After the box office success of The Wolverine, plans for a third solo installment were put into motion in November 2013. Because if at first you don't succeed, third time's the charm.
I'm a fan, by the way.
With director James Mangold returning to captain the ship. However, it was unclear whether or not Hugh Jackman would be able to reprise the role, as it would mean a renegotiation of his contract, as well as the fact that he was finally growing tired of playing the same character for so many years.
They're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
He stated that his coming back for another film would depend entirely on the quality of the script, saying, "I'm genuinely at that point where, unless it's better than the last one, I'm not going to do it." Low bar.
That's how stupid they are.
I love that it's rated R and everything, but Professor Xavier swearing just seems wrong somehow. It's like Mickey Mouse saying the N-word. David James Kelly was originally selected as screenwriter, though his work was soon replaced by a new draft written by Michael Green and Scott Frank in April 2015. Mangold helped to oversee the process, and even Jackman himself made his own contributions, and it was actually him who suggested working Xavier into the story, because they're going to make Patrick Stewart do this until he's 190. He even planned to reintroduce Sabretooth into the mix again, with Liev Schreiber reprising his role from Origins, though due to scheduling conflicts with his TV show Ray Donovan, this didn't end up materialising. The film was primarily inspired by the Old Man Logan storyline from the comics, which an older Wolverine is living as a farmer in a post-apocalyptic USA, though the likes of Shane, the Cowboys, Unforgiven, the Wrestler, and even Little Miss Sunshine were cited as inspirations for the story. The filmmakers wanted the movie to combine elements of classic westerns, character studies, and road trip movies in order to make a comic book movie that was unlike any seen before. I mean, a hero who has to travel the country and protect a child. Unique? It wasn't until January 2016 that the project was confirmed to be going ahead, with both Jackman and Mangold signed on to star and direct, though Jackman stipulated that this would be his final time playing the character. Nothing a bit of money will change, right, Hugh?
Till he's 90.
Furthermore, the success of Deadpool had encouraged Fox to finally allow for more graphic content in their movies, and so this became the first film in the main X-Men franchise to be rated R. And it was worth it. Filming ran from April to August of 2016 in New Orleans, and Logan was released on March the 3rd the following year. Not only was it yet another financial smash, grossing $619 million worldwide, but it was met with near universal acclaim from critics and fans, many declaring not only the best X-Men film, but one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. It even became the first superhero movie in history to be Oscar nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, though it sadly didn't win. It's awesome! Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? You were all scared. You were all like, oh, we better like this one. I had a really good time.
But you were supposed to see coming.
The opening scene does resemble the beginning of The Terminator quite a bit, so the film isn't massively original, but Jesus Christ is it awesome when Logan f***s these guys up. The gore and brutality is incredible. I also quite like the idea of people not caring much about mutants by this point, but again, it's children of men with some elements of Jurassic World. It is great, don't get me wrong, but again, it has borrowed elements from other films. Then again, the comic was written first on the technicality.
Don't worry.
Then we get a sneak peek at Hugh Jackman being approached by Marvel executives.
You're the only one that could help.
Get the away from me.
The main villain is great and does have some genuinely funny lines.
So they was thinking it was either an escaped tiger or Freddy Krueger. But neither one of them can drive. One being fictional, the other one extinct.
And the performance is amazing. He's so much fun to watch. The dude tortures Stephen Merchant and he's so evil and chilled about the whole thing. Although...
It's okay. It's the auto train, choo-choo.
Why is he referring to a train as a choo-choo to a child that is clearly older than 5? I mean, he clearly says locomotive in Spanish just a few moments earlier.
The locomotura.
Although I have to say, he is hilarious in this.
Logan.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Logan.
Just stop.
I have to pee.
And has some genuinely great dialogue.
When I found you, you were pursuing a career as a cage fighter. A warm capper to a life as an assassin. Hooked on barbiturates. You were an animal.
There is a great scene where Xavier has a seizure and everything shifts into slow motion as Logan kills him. It's amazing, and this was achieved by having Hugh Jackman restrained by a rope around his waist to better give off the illusion of him genuinely struggling against Charles' psychic blasts. There was also originally going to be a flashback showing the moment that triggered Charles' dementia, and therefore killed off most of the X-Men. This was shot but eventually cut as the filmmakers felt it distracted from the emotion of the story.
Of course you'd say that.
It is genuinely sad to see Xavier in this state, and it's probably Stewart's best performance in the series. And Jackman's. I'm gonna have sex with this movie without protection.
You're waiting for me to die.
I'm doing the same with this franchise. The movie also has a lot of dark content, what with a suicide joke.
If you are planning to blow your brains out, could you wait till you're out on the high seas and just mop these floors?
Laura self-harming and healing. When did this mutant flick become a metaphor for mental health?
They're gonna have to pay for damages. And she has cash. I've seen it.
You get your fat ass back in your office. You'll get your money.
Okay, can we stop having movies call someone who's obviously not fat? Oh, look at Stephen Merchant over there. Fatso lard ass. Also, I'm not sure if it's intended to be as funny as it is, but watching Hugh Jackman fight a child for a backpack is pretty amusing. I was going to originally say that Laura just resembles a completely emotionless Anna Faris, because for most of the movie she barely reacts to anything. Ever. At all! Oh, look! She smiles once! And she does get better towards the end. But when she becomes Mini Wolverine, I can't lie, this is badass. It's so dark to see a child in these situations with this much gore and wait, hang on, Kick-Ass did it first. In fact, now that I think about it, there really isn't that much originality here, is there? And we don't care, because it's awesome anyway!
Laura, are you alright?
I mean, she heals. I'm pretty sure she's alright, mate. At one point, she punches Logan in the face. She doesn't give a shit. And she somehow knows how to drive. Sure. And she does get a really cool line.
Bad happens to people I care about. You understand me?
Then I'll be fine.
At one point, Logan asks her to hide behind him, and she's like, nope, you old man, I'm fighting, and it looks so cool. The crazy little goes on a damn stabbing spree, and refuses to leave old man hunk as he's slowly dying.
Stop shooting! She heals!
Hey, they learn from their own stupidity! The car chase scenes are pretty sweet with some pretty unique music, I'll give them that.
Does she remind you of anybody?
Cyclops. There's also a funny moment where Logan stops her from attacking a gas station clerk, only to then also encourage stealing. There's some found footage sections, and it's quite impressive that they managed to still do the mutant effects really effectively. The production is nuts. There's also a great part where they casually rock up to a Vegas hotel in a completely destroyed, shot-up limousine. They also throw in X-Men comics and action figures because... meta? I don't know, it's weird.
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan. You do know they're all bull, right?
He's not wrong.
Knock it off. I said knock it off.
She's a child, Logan.
Doesn't stop them from being little dickheads. Yeah, Logan is a complete prick in this one, and I'm all for it. There's a pretty decent sequence where Logan meets MG from Legacies and puts this family at risk.
This is what life looks like. A home. People who love each other.
Bullshit. Turns out it really is a Marvel film because there's an evil version of Wolverine, and why do we keep letting this slide? This movie steals things from so many other films! And we don't care because it's so cool, look at it! And the clone kills Xavier. I mean, it's hard to give a shit when we know for a fact that Xavier could just resurrect himself any given Tuesday anyway. And we do get Wolverine versus Wolverine, and it does look great. Yeah, I hear all the best superhero movies have the lead star fight himself. Oh, well that was easy. Oh, never mind. Okay, now he's dead. Oh, for f***'s sake! Jackman is fantastic in this. He truly does come across as a completely broken man.
I'd always hoped that I'd get the chance to meet someone like you.
Australians. The makeup is also really impressive considering Jackman was in his late 40s at this point and he looks old as f***.
You have nightmares.
See.
X-Men Origins. There is a really awesome long take of Logan taking everyone out with some really incredible blood and gore. And of course Logan dies and we get the cliche dying speech. Doesn't matter, the movie's still awesome. It's phenomenal. Sure, there are a couple of nitpicks here and there and it does borrow a lot from similar stories, but in terms of emotional investment and character development, it's a damn good film, but I do tend to edge it to Days of Future Past as the better film. Regardless, the acting is incredible from everyone involved. The action is brutal as all hell, and it's about as perfect a send-off for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as you can get. So as far as I'm concerned, as of now, there's only been 2 great X-Men films. So as far as I'm concerned, there only currently exists... I'm gonna shoot this dog in the head.